Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Christian Reeve Podcast. Today's guest is an actor and a musician, and he is the bassist for 40,000 Leagues. Welcome to the show, Rick Wiltshire. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, thanks. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
It's good. It's take two. We're trying again because the first time didn't work because you were living in 2000s internet. So what's it like?
Even prior to that, it was dial-up internet, to be honest.
Dial-up?
It was awful.
Was it actually? Dial-up?
No, it wasn't really. I remember living with dial-up for much longer than anyone else did at my high school, though. So.
Damn. Damn. All right, man. Why did you want to be on the show? Actually, I'm intrigued because I get people that I know or I know through people. Because as you may or may not know, I interview people all around the world. People have asked me before how I get people on the show, and it's kind of a mixed bag, really. In more recent years, it's been people reaching out. Sometimes I'll reach out to someone if I feel like it might work. I don't know. I mean, it's. I know how it sounds, but it is kind of tricky finding podcast guests because not everyone is necessarily on board with talking for a long time. You know, even sometimes there'll be people that you think like, oh yeah, I can do this. This will be good, and then you do it, and it's like pulling teeth, and it's I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes there's some misconceptions about what a podcast actually is in the traditional sense, because I know these days podcasts are just clip farming and, you know, stroking people's egos and it's kind of shit, really, to be honest. But I like to just do it El Clasico style. But I'm intrigued to get an outsider's opinion. What say you? What was your interest?
So, there was a couple of reasons, because we've sort of skirted around one another in projects for a while, and I realised we've never actually met before, which I found quite interesting.
It's true.
We've done... So you've worked with Dan McGee quite a few times.
I have. Been on the show.
I've worked with Dan McGee. He's a lovely dude. He's also an incredible actor. I've worked with him for about 8 years, on and off. Obviously, I've seen your music videos and stuff like that when Dan's shared them, when you've shared them. So I think with the world of acting, you end up sort of knowing people without knowing people, either through friends and stuff. So I feel like it was a little bit of that situation. And then when I saw the music, I was like, well, we can chat music as well. I've in a sort of a businessy way, I've got stuff to promote with the band as well. So yeah.
Business.
Yeah, no, I just thought we won't talk about that at all.
Ooh.
Don't worry. No.
We can talk business.
I just found it interesting that we'd never actually met in real life, to my knowledge, but we've somehow interacted with a lot of the same people. I just find stuff like that interesting.
I know what you mean. Manchester's a small place, and
Yes.
inevitably, especially with acting, everyone ends up working with everyone, and it's kind of funny. It's like it's a bit like living in a small town or a village, and everyone ends up like knowing everyone's business. It's a bit like that.
Yeah, it's like a small town of over 1 million people, and yet somehow you do end up knowing all this. Yeah, it's weird, but it is honestly true.
I think what it is as well is like you get. Let's face it, you've got everyone involved with acting in Manchester, and then there's some people who, you know, they've got like something going on. Like there's a girl I worked with recently, and she got like a role on Hollyoaks, and she's doing really well. And then you've got like the rest of us who like aren't really fucking going anywhere. And it's interesting because it's like we're all passionate about it. We all love what we do. But we're all at different levels. Like for me, so I'm at the bottom of the pile. I'm like not successful at anything. And I've had people on the show over the years who are either like experts in their craft, or maybe they're up and coming, or, you know, they're somewhere in the middle. And you get a lot of varying perspectives. Obviously, we're going to talk the band in a bit, but like for you, you know, you've been doing this stuff a long time. Where does it all start for you? Let's start with acting first, because I think that might be kind of interesting. How did you get into acting?
So, from maybe like the start of high school, I'd always wanted to do acting. My drama teachers and stuff encouraged it. and I was always sort of persuaded away from doing it. It was like, that's not a good career choice. You'll end up waiting tables, this kind of that. Like, I'm sure everyone who's gone into acting has had that conversation, either with a parent or a teacher. I
think it's surprising for a teacher to say that though. Like, oh, you could be waiting tables, bro. Like, that's brutally honest. I mean, it's kind of, I respect it on one hand, but on the other side, I'm like, wow, what piece of shit. Like,
I think it was one of my language teachers. I think that was their way of trying to persuade me to do their language at GCSE rather than drama.
That's how you know that they at one point wanted to be an actor and tried and it didn't work out. That's how you know. That's a clue right there.
So I put it off for a while. I let other people's doubts get into my head, and I went and studied biology at university. Which, left field choice, I realise. Yeah, like, job in science, that's much easier to get into. Not at all.
No? Oh. I would have thought it was a clear career choice, no? Biology. Or your social media job that you have with all the endless notifications. Ding, ding, ding,
so
ding.
that is my girlfriend's laptop, and that is pinging her Teams message saying that she is needed. She's on another laptop in another room on a Teams meeting.
Oh, is it? Oh, mad.
So yeah, I did biology. I
like to fuck with people. I do apologise.
It
is just my
good.
fucked up sense of humour these days. Life did this to me. Okay.
It does it to us all, mate. Don't you worry.
Oh no, you don't get it, man. I'm at a different level now. Anyway, back to you. Enough of my.
Yes. I studied biology, and
why biology? Just out of curiosity.
What was that? Sorry.
Why biology? Out of curiosity.
I was always quite good at science. I was always quite good at science and maths when I was in high school and college, and I think, I don't know, biology sort of appealed because it was lots of different things. Learn about animals, learn about the history of medicine, learn about mental illness, all these things. Because I'm an incredibly indecisive person, and I think having a large thing to pick and choose that as a university subject like that sort of appealed, because it meant I didn't have to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Which ultimately, unfortunately, biology turned out not to be for me, in that about halfway through university, obviously completed my degree, but I realised, I don't want to work in a lab or anything like this. I tried working in a lab for 6 months after university. I absolutely hated it. So,
what did you hate most about it?
The routine.
Interesting.
So with a lot of work in biology and in the sciences, it's a lot of a 4-week window of trying to do some kind of experiment, whatever it may be, trying to grow cultures, it not working, you're starting it again, over and over until it works, or it doesn't work and it's statistically significant either way, or it's not statistically significant and you've sort of wasted your time. I couldn't get into the idea of the routine of being in a lab 9 till 5 or 9 till whenever, because it's not, it's you're there until you're not needed kind of thing sometimes.
It's interesting that they have standard office hours. Like, couldn't you just be in there at any time? Like, why'd you have to be there 9 to 5?
Yeah, it wasn't really 9 to 5 now I've thought about it.
What was your general rota, if you like?
So it was at the universities. I would sort of rock up at about 10 o'clock because I was still trapped in the get up late and the student life. And then I'd sort of dip out maybe about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, or if things weren't going well, 2 o'clock.
That's a long day, though. 6, 7 o'clock, and you started at 10. Jesus Christ.
A lot of PhD students and people, like my girlfriend, she's doing a PhD at the moment. She's there sometimes 12-hour days, sometimes without lunch break. You sort of left to your own devices, so I think you've got to own devices. So I think you've got to be motivated with science, and my motivation just wasn't there for it.
What were the other reasons that your motivation wasn't there? I mean, because you said that you know people got into your head. This is something I can relate to. I studied marketing at uni, which is fucking pointless. I did actually work in marketing for years, but whatever.
Oh, fair.
But same as you, somewhere around the second year, I had a disillusion moment. Not only about management, but about life in general. I was like, what is the point? What is the point of any of this? Fuck everything and everything. I think that's just the artist's prerogative. But I think the bigger thing was, for me, I don't know if this really applies to biology students and career people, but I just looked around the lecture hall and thought, what a bunch of wankers. They're all dressed like they're trying to impress, I don't know, some CEO somewhere, and all these people are just as bad now as they were then. And I'd see their endless fake soulless LinkedIn posts, and I'm like, when did your soul die? Was it at uni? Because I feel like there was at least a spark of something back then, and now it's just dead. And now every post you make is just soulless crap. You should write a song about this. I think there's something there.
Yeah. LinkedIn, I have my own personal hell for anyone who loves LinkedIn. I despise it.
Oh, please tell me now. Level. This is absolutely the place for this. Yes. Tell me about soulless LinkedIn shit.
So are you... looking around the electrical at university, we didn't have soulless people there. No, everyone was like a lovely nerd in some kind of way, but everyone was just biology had been their passion, and it was their passion, and for me it just wasn't. So I think it was more a notion of going, if I want to succeed in this, I've got to be invested in it, and I just wasn't. Oh my god, LinkedIn though, we were pushed to we were told if you don't have LinkedIn you won't succeed in science, this and this. Like LinkedIn's the way. Like somehow the corporate marketing people had snuck in to sneak that bit of information in, and I have LinkedIn, it's there, I'll check it once every 6 months to make sure I've not died by accident or something on it. But it's not needed for, well, I say it's not needed for the world of acting. It's sort of needed for the world of acting, but I don't use it.
Not really. I mean,
no.
I see people, there's people I know who have it, and I'm like, why? Because mine's got, it's got like professional shit. I do list like acting and podcasting and shit on there, but it seems kind of daft, really. It's like, oh, I've been a podcaster for 6 years because that's a career, or acting. Everyone knows acting is a freelance thing, and it's very just all over the place. You've got work, and then you've got nothing, and nothing, and then randomly work, and then it's just all over the place. And if you're lucky, you've got constant work. But as a career, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it unless you fucking love it. It's one of those, if anyone ever wonders why I haven't given up over the years on everything I do, I love everything that I do, and it destroys me and breaks me emotionally, physically, mentally, none of it works out. But I would rather pursue a hopeless endeavor and love it than live the rest of my days in regret doing stuff I hate. I can't fathom that. It reminds me of this CM Punk quote. I think it was something like, I'd rather choke on greatness than starve on mediocrity, or something like that.
Honestly, I completely agree on that. That's kind of why I sort of gave up on the office life, at least for the time being, until I desperately need to pay for food and things. It's just, I'd rather... You can try and fail at things you hate, so you may as well try and fail at something you enjoy.
So, you finish your degree, you've done your PhD stuff. What age were you then?
So I finished my degree at age 21, thought about doing a master's, did some, worked in the labs for a little bit.
Oh, sorry, you didn't do a PhD, so you were working in labs.
Oh, no, I'm not clever enough to do a PhD.
Hey, don't put yourself down, man, you never know.
Oh, I'm not determined enough to do a PhD then. At least in that aspect of life.
I was going to say, as we're going to get into, there's a lot that you do with your life, and I think that it's relative as far as determination is concerned. I mean, I can relate. If you put me into a customer service job or a marketing job, I have zero passion, and I could not give a fuck, and I will probably find a way to deliberately sabotage myself. But with this, I'd do this shit all day and twice on Sundays. I'd do this for free the rest of my life. I fucking love it. I want to earn a living. I want this to be my career, because I think everyone wants that. You want something to love you back. Otherwise, it's just pain. But at the same time, it's, in a way, I think chasing your dreams tells you everything you need to know about yourself. What I know exactly what I hate and what I'm not prepared to do, and I know what I love, and that that comes through trial and error. So you finish your degree. You're 6 months out, you've tried a bit of lab work, and you're like, fuck that shit. So age 21 Rick Wiltshire, what's he saying? What's he doing? Where's his mind at?
Age 21 Rick Wiltshire is going, well, we loved acting ages ago. Why don't we give this a try? Let's try some evening classes. Let's build it up that way. Got some odd jobs at the same time. Some weird odd jobs. I will level. I worked in a Jewish art gallery for a bit, which is a very strange place. Interesting place. Not many customers, so I had a lot of free time.
Random.
Yeah.
Is that in Manchester? I know there's a museum in Manchester.
It was in Wilmslow. So my mum was a biologist, so you can probably see where the influence of you should do biology came from. And she took early retirement to do art, which is what she'd always wanted to do. So she paints, she does acrylic and abstract painting. And she came across this art gallery, which was new at the time whenever I was 21, which I just forgot what year, about 2016. And yeah.
Wait, how old are you now?
I'm 31.
31. Oh wow! I didn't expect you to be my age. I thought you were a bit younger. Interesting.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to take the compliment. I have the youth on my side.
He does.
Don't look at the crow's feet here.
Dude, I've got fucking white going everywhere, so I've beaten you on that. It's just like I liken it to being like going from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. You know, we're on that front. You know,
it's a maturity thing. Yeah, you've beaten your Balrog. Yeah.
No, it just happened randomly, man. It was weird. Last year, I've not had white hair or white eyelashes my whole life. It happened at the beginning of last year, and I actually discovered it, funnily enough, when I was reviewing the footage from the music video I did with Dan McGee and Giuseppe Abba. I was just looking through it, and I was like, oh, there's some white hairs. What the fuck? And then over the course of the next couple of months, Clockwork Orange. Very weird. Strange. But yeah, anyway, enough about me.
Fair.
So yeah, I've been criticised in the past about that, even though it's my fucking show, man. It's my name is on the show. I'm allowed to talk about myself. Actually, I'll come at the critics for a second. Generally speaking, like I always, if I have a guest on the show, I want to talk about them because I don't want to talk about myself the whole time. I know who I am, so I don't need to fucking talk about it. But, you know, it's relatability. I like the show to be like a conversation, you know, back and forth. I'm obviously very aware of, like, stories I've told maybe a few too many times, and I'll generally apologise on the show if I've done that. I'll be like, sorry, it makes me think of this. But you never know where the conversation might go, because for your guest, that's the first time they've heard that, and who knows? Do you know what I mean? It's a conversation. Conversations are relative, and they naturally happen, and, well... If you're both invested and your host has done their research, then you'll have like an idea of where the conversation's going. So you were doing odd acting jobs, you were doing evening classes. Where did it go from there? Because obviously at that time you were 21, you're now 31, so there's a lot of time there. What's kind of changed over the years? What have been how has your acting journey been so far?
I started off, I did quite a lot of student films, friends projects here and there. I thought it was going okay. I didn't have an agent, I was self-represented. The Spotlight was this big end goal of what to get on. I'd picked up doing tutoring jobs. That's what I mainly do now as my muggle job, for want of a better word.
Tutoring for music or for acting?
For maths and science.
Oh, man. Well, hey, fair play, man. Fair play. Why not?
Finally using that degree for a little bit.
Good stuff.
But yeah, so I do that on the side, picked up a few jobs there, and then obviously COVID hit. I wouldn't have said I was a professional actor at the time, so all work kind of dried up completely. And then out of nowhere, I got approached by this agent who just found my Mandy profile and was like, hey, you'd be the perfect fit for what I'm missing in my team. Do you fancy coming and joining us? So I did, and a couple of jobs here and there, which went well, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess maybe I can start saying I'm a professional actor. Like, that thought process in my head of like, it's weird to tell people because most of the time I'm not doing that, and I'm sure you have that as well. That agent turned out to be not all I thought they were, and they eventually dipped out. But before they dipped out, another agent came and talked to me, my current agent, Glennis, who is absolutely amazing. Like, I've been on her books now for a couple of years, and yeah, never look back. Like, she's the sort of agent that you don't necessarily know that you want, but you need. She's incredibly supportive. She's got a big group chat of all of us together. It's like a community, so when one of us gets a job, it feels like it's a success for everyone in the agency. It's like a really wholesome thing.
Sounds nice. I can't relate. I had 2 agents in the space of a couple of years. Like right now, I'll give you a quick rundown on me. So I think you probably, since you somewhat know my face, even though this is the first time we've officially met, I used to have really, really, really long hair, and like really long. And the second agent I had, they found me on Spotlight. It lasted about 3-4 months, and then they binned me. Not really any information at all. The first one I had for like over a year, and I think I reached out to them because someone I knew was signed with them. And basically the whole time they just said like everything's my fault. So at first it was your photos aren't bright enough. So I got new photos done. I get them done every year anyway, and yeah, they were like, they're not bright enough, and they're like full on headshots, face. I don't know how much brighter you can get unless there's a fucking, I don't know, spotlight on my actual face. They also, they would put me forward for fucking, I don't know, like commercial stuff that I wasn't a fit for, and then when I would say, hey, can you give me any advice, like how come I'm not able to find work, they were like, oh, you're too niche. And I'm like, well, listen, I'm no fucking casting director, but I don't know, I can think of a few ideas. Vampire, Viking, I don't know, evil, medieval villain. Like, fucking come on, man. Like, play to your strengths. Look at what someone at least looks like. I mean, it's supposed to be an industry based on looks, right? So just go on that, And now it's kind of hilarious. Like, I have a fucking white hair, white eyelash, vitiligo, short hair. I mean, these things you can manipulate that, but like, I stand out. I don't know how much more I could really fucking stand out. And nothing. Can't get an agent. I think I've been rejected like 40, 50 times this year.
Sorry, man.
Don't worry about it, man. It's the nature of the industry.
I would say at the moment there's most agents I don't think are taking on new clients, or very few are. I think a lot of closed book.
It's all of these things in creative endeavors are about luck. It's hard work and luck, and I've never had any luck, so I'm just kind of like watching everyone else do their thing. That's what makes this show quite interesting, because I'll be able to relate to people, but it would be like kind of, I don't know. It's sad if we talk about me, so I try not to talk too much about me. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting how much things have changed over the years when it comes to how people get jobs. I think the one thing that has never changed is like who you know. Most of the acting jobs I tend to get these days are either voice acting jobs that I apply for, or people that reached out to me that know me through another project. Someone recommends, and that's a positive. Like, you get. Yeah, I mean, I met Dan McGee on like some shitty, dodgy commercial that we ended up doing, and we were just fucking around having a laugh. And then, I said like, yeah, hit me up if you ever do anything. And he has over the years, and you end up doing stuff together and stuff.
Speaking of Dan, so you did a film with Dan about a pigeon, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was your stand-in on the recce days for it.
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't just use you, because I didn't realise that at first. I thought, oh, this is, stand-ins just, I don't know, you just got someone to just stand in front of the camera, right? And I was like, why don't you just go with this guy? I mean, I'm grateful I got it, because it was a great film. The film's called Oh No Guano, released in 2023. Fucking bizarre, hilarious, Edgar White kind of shit. But yeah, I was like, why didn't they just give it to Rick? Were you just busy that week? Or, I don't know.
I think Dan had already cast you, but I think
Oh.
he couldn't do the day or something like that. So I was like, well, I'm free. I'll go and see Dan for a bit, and lovely Giuseppe as well.
I think what's interesting about that, right, because we're going to talk about your height now. You are a very tall man. You're 6'5". I'm 6 foot on the dot. Right, for those who don't know what that means, it's about 195.6 centimeters. So putting you as a stand-in for me is kind of hilarious because, like, it's going to be a significant difference.
Yeah, there's a few inches.
So what's the weather like up there?
It's lovely, and speaking of niche castings, when you when you're this height, when you see those spotlight jobs and they're like, oh, anyone up to 192 centimeters is absolutely fine. You're like, oh, they want anyone who's like a normalish height, but I am slightly freaky, so I'm not allowed in.
Couldn't you just, I don't know, limp a bit or hunch?
It's just stoop.
Yeah,
I mean, I stoop most of the time anyway, so
just I'm 6'1".
yeah, just a little Igor thing. It's fine.
I mean, Tobey Maguire does it in Spider-Man, doesn't it? It's impressive.
That is true. He's not that tall though, is he?
Nah, but there's there's that scene where Mary Jane's like, oh, you're taller than you look, and he's like, yeah, I hunch, and she's like, don't. And he's like, oh, fair enough.
I've had for height difference. I've only ever been too tall for one set, and it was very, very early on. It was like a friend's student film, one like just after university.
Hold on. So they cast you. You walk onto set. So this is classic fucking student film shit. This is why I don't do student films unless it's voice. So you walk on. They've not done their research, and they put looking up at you like, oh fucking hell, he's bit. How are we going to get the camera on it?
So they'd already filmed with this actress for a couple of days. She was the main character. I was literally 2 lines in a lift next to her, and they hadn't clocked that she was like 5'2", me 6'5". They couldn't frame it so that I was in the frame, and because the lift had like those mirrors on the side, it was very limited in what scope they could do with it. So they were like, "Sorry, Rick, we're just going to get one of the camera ops to stand in and just say the lines instead." So turn up. It's told to go.
That's classic fucking student films, man. It's exactly why I don't do it, because it's. I understand like people, they're learning their craft, but I can't tell you how much unprofessionalism I've seen on student sets where I'm like, you know what, like, you're never gonna get anywhere with filmmaking. Just give up now, because this is just pain.
It can go both ways. You can see like the worst of the worst in terms of what happens on a film set, and then you'll be pleasantly surprised by like some of the most creative people or like the best looking shots you've ever seen. So they're hit and miss, I would say, student films when it comes to
I always expect the worst when it comes to student films. Cause I've noticed as well there's a weird sense of entitlement. The hoops that you jump through to fucking just do like put it like this, I've been doing voice acting a long time, right? And when I send out like voice tapes, like it's kind of, the voice is the voice. I can do different accents. I can do variations on a theme and stuff. But sometimes I'll look at like how much they're asking, and I'm like, listen, nah. Like, do you know what I mean? You either want the voice or you don't want the voice. It's as simple as that. Because the industry's changed completely. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I'm not willing to do like, for instance, if it's a film, like do in-person auditions, of course. But from the self-tape, I think that at least kind of gets you, either you've whittled it down to like your last 5 people and you want to just kind of try a few different things out. I think this really more so applies to on-screen. I think with voice acting, it's kind of, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? On-screen makes sense because it's like, you bring someone down physically and then you can kind of test out what they look at on certain cameras and if they can take direction well and stuff like that. So I think that's fair. But yeah, I don't know. Over the years, I've seen a lot of bad attitudes with student films, and the only people I'm really ever willing to work with if it's a student film would be like PhD students and stuff, people who actually are taking it seriously.
Yeah.
For instance, like the last one I did, which it was an independent film, but shout out to Fallon West. It was because she was kind of at that time doing her PhD, but she's very serious about filmmaking. She'd been doing it for years. So I was like, all right, I feel comfortable with this. Let's do it, right? And she wasn't actually the one who reached out to me. It was someone else. But like, I could see straight away, like, oh, this is serious. She's taking this seriously. Like, this means a lot. Like, you know, and I felt comfortable then. Like, you know, obviously it's different every single time you get on set, but
yeah,
you know, it became very apparent, like, oh, this isn't a student film. There are students around, because obviously why wouldn't you use that as a resource, right? But this is very much like about serious filmmaking. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, just basics like making sure, and I know how this will sound, but if you're doing like an all-day shoot, students, listen up. If you're doing an all-day shoot and you're not even paying your actors, and not just your actors, your cast, your crew, everyone, right? At the very least, you should provide like tea, coffee, water, a few snacks. Bare minimum. If you don't provide that, it's incredibly unprofessional. You need to kind of be cognizant of break times and like how much you're asking of actors. You know, we're not robots. Like, we can do intense stuff over the course of a couple of hours, you know, and we'll give you our best, but you know what I mean? It's a lot. It's emotionally demanding. And just, you know what I mean? Just like anything else in life, it's one of those things that you need breaks, you need to like reassess and stuff like that. What have been the biggest challenges for you with acting over the years?
Aside from being in my own head about a lot of it, which I guess a lot of actors are, if you're not in work, it's, am I doing something wrong?
Yep.
Sorry, I feel like I touched a nerve with that one, but yeah. Well,
no, I'm fine.
We all
Listen,
go through it.
I'll say this: I never have a bad attitude about it. One thing I've always made sure to do is never get bitter. I won't lie, I feel hard done by. I feel heartbroken, but I think it's pointless to compare yourself to other people because it's just different. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I don't fit the mold. I'm not good enough, or whatever. I don't know what it is, but
it's not that you're not good enough at all. It's just
trust me, everything I do fails. I've been doing this show for 6 years. 6 years, bro. There's podcasts that have been around in 5 minutes that have got success, and it's okay. I just do my best with what I do. I don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone, but that's how I feel about myself. And it is what it is. But I brought you on the show to talk about you. I don't want to talk about me anymore. You're talking about challenges being in your own head. So what are the things that you doubt about your abilities? What's going on there?
It is, as we've said, like if I get in my own head about things, it's like, well, I guess I'm not formally trained in a way. I've not been to RADA or Lambda or one of these places. I've had evening classes and stuff like that, but
does that not count? Is that not the same? I mean, it's still lessons, isn't it? You know,
it's I suppose it's that notion of, I guess it's almost like an imposter syndrome thing for me sometimes. I often shake it off, but I think that applies to just general life, really. Sometimes the imposter syndrome kicks in of like, am I the right person for doing this job? Why am I doing this? But yeah.
Well, given you've done it,
you can relate.
You've done it for so long. Like, do you not trust in your ability? Like, well, you know, it's been however many years. You know, I'm a seasoned actor.
It's definitely got quieter in recent years. I think I've managed to prove to myself, yeah, I deserve to be here as much as the next person. I've worked hard for this. I've not just looked into it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. There's luck involved. It's that combination of being prepared and lucky at the same time.
What have been your biggest triumphs over the years with acting?
Ooh. I really should have thought this question was coming. And yeah, somehow my brain never thought this one through. I've done a couple of commercials which have... It's that nice thing of your friends know that you do acting, but they don't tend to see most of it because it's in short films, it's in feature films that disappear into the film festivals. and my bandmate Joe just called me to say he'd seen me on Comedy Central advertising noodles. I was like, yes, okay, I've officially proven to you that I can do acting now. That was a nice moment. I did a feature film that's coming out soon. It's an independent feature called Dreek about spice addiction in Manchester. A group of friends, they run Simframe, which is a production company in Manchester. This is their first feature, and being part of that was very special. And I guess me and a couple of friends from high school sell Blue Dot Films, which is a non-profit little filmmaking group. We've done 2 shorts to date, and we've doing.
Because that's impressive that you recorded all that today. Well done.
I know, yeah. It's like, it's not even 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
We've done 2 shorts.
Wow.
And we are doing our first foray into a sort of more long format and a comedy, which my friend Adam, who's one of the sort of 3 of us who started Blue Dots, is a phenomenal scriptwriter and a very, very good friend. And I'm not tooting his own horn here, but it might be my favourite script I've ever read. So I'm very excited for that, and I will be bothering you with castings as well once we get to that stage.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
If I'm in charge of the casting process, which I hope I am, but I might not.
Are you going to be directing then, or what's going to be your involvement?
I believe I'll just be acting in it, because Adam tends to direct for Blue Dot stuff. I tend to end up in a sort of producer role, and then if there's a role for me, I'll go, well, I think Rick should probably do that bit there.
I know what you mean with the whole seeing people on adverts thing. There's a guy I know, a Liverpudlian actor called Philip McGuinness, and I think his biggest role to date is he's in this show called Gwed, which is on like ITV, something like that. Okay. I met him, this is how funny life is, I met him doing a fucking parking warden job in like back arse of nowhere in Liverpool, and we're literally standing across the street at each other, and there's no one around. Like occasionally there might be a car, and we'll just tell him to fuck off down the road or something, and we're just talking about life, his want of being Doctor Who at some point. He told me some fucking paranormal. I'd love to get him on the show. I've been trying to get him for fucking ages. he just keeps ignoring me. But then he'll message and be like, "Oh hey," it's like. Anyway, he does a lot of like adverts as well, and I saw him. I was in like a premiere in with my girlfriend. I was just sitting down. The fucking this is how weird it is when you know people that act, right? So he comes on the TV and he's got like a bowl cut or some shit, and it's an advert, for like a food thing, and I'm like, "Is that Philip? What the fuck?" Like, you know, it just happens, man. It's just it's the weirdness of it all.
I annoy my girlfriend to death because obviously go through Spotlight every morning. That's part of my routine, see what jobs are coming through. Obviously the little bit that we can see, and then what my agent will say she's put me forward for. And obviously never had an interest in adverts. The moment the adverts pop on, I'll go, oh, I remember that casting. I can't believe they've gone with that person.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, you see things that you didn't get, or you see like what they went with, and you're just like, ooh, brother, ooh.
So there was an advert, I did a self-tape in January, I think, for it. Didn't get it, obviously. For like some oven cleaner thing. Thought nothing of it. My agent was happy with the self-tape, just probably not the right person for the job. And I was driving up to Leeds for a short film in February, and I was stuck in traffic. And there was this massive fuck-off billboard over me. And I looked up and it was the advert. I was like, fuck's sake.
The one that killed me the most was there was a voice acting gig for like a pirate thing, and I can do shit like that all day. I love voice acting. I applied for it, didn't get it, and then about 3 months later, there's a guy I follow, and it's on his story, and he's like, "Oh, Army Hearty, just finished off this thing," and I'm like, "Fuck you!" Like, I'm happy for you, but fuck you. Fuck the universe.
It's always nice when someone we know gets it, but also...
Well, this is the thing.
God,
like, I don't... Listen, I don't get jealous. I envy people like shit. But I do... Sometimes, if they get too much, I do mute their stories and posts. I can't stomach it anymore. I'm like, did they get everything? I get nothing. What is this?
Yeah, so social media, I think, is unfortunately engineered to make us feel jealous of other people, and in our industry, jealousy is not an ideal thing to feel, is
Well,
it?
I mean, like I said, you can't have jealousy. You can be envious, but you can't
Yeah,
have jealousy because jealousy
absolutely.
is stupid and illogical. Like what we're different people, we have different stories, stuff like that. Like it's just a stupid emotion. I've always thought jealousy is stupid because I mean, what even is it? You know what I mean? Like you want what another person has, but you don't know the steps that led that person to get that thing. Um,
And ultimately, it might not bring you happiness in that scenario anyway.
yeah, I don't know. Like it's sometimes. I mean, people have said this to me before. Like Christian, one day your time will come, and I'm like, yeah, okay, when pigs fly. But you know, they'll say it, and every now and again, I do think about that, and I think like, what if my time, if you like, comes in the form of something I never would have considered. You know what I mean? Like, what if it's not the things I've been pursuing, but what if it's this thing, and it's like, oh my god, you know? Like, and for me, I don't know. I feel like there's something in interviewing and talking to people, because I'm not that fussed or asked about being the center of attention, believe it or not. I think it's, you know, when I'm on set, I like making everyone laugh and having a good time and like the experience, and like we come out with the final product and I'm like, yeah, this is brilliant. Like for example, I did a film ages ago called Choc Chips, and like my character has like a few lines, not really that important, but I realized in that how important my role was in making someone else look good, specifically Dan's character.
Mm.
Yeah, I really felt like, at least in my opinion, that it helped that. It helped make another character look quite intimidating. So my character served different purposes despite being a small bit part character. And, you know, I think I said that to someone on set and they were like, there are no small roles. And I was like, yeah. And I took it seriously like I would anything else. But I think it kind of teaches you, like the people that walk around with egos and shit it's kind of funny, but everyone else is like just invested in what we do and like the love of it, the love of the game and stuff like that.
I think that's the thing, though, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's collaborative.
Yes.
Like if you do a good performance and give someone the right cues and the right level of emotion, you'll get a better performance out of them, and everyone wins. If you sort of let your ego drive it, you great. You might pull off a great performance, but it'll feel weird and stilted alongside everyone else's. So, ego has no real place in the industry. To be honest, a lot of people do have the ego, but it doesn't.
Yeah, have you come across anything
Benefit.
embarrassing?
I've been very lucky in that most projects I've been involved with, either no one's had much of an ego or it's an ego that's manageable.
A manageable ego, explain.
So you know when you come across someone that you can see that they've got a bit of an ego, but it's not like it's not a grandiose thing. It's not like you placate it to some extent, but you don't let it become the center of attention.
I've got someone in mind right now.
Is it someone we both know?
Probably. It's one of those where I met them and I offered them something and they were like, oh no, I don't do stuff like that. And I was like, oh. And the person I went with in the end was definitely the right choice. But I just remember thinking like, I don't know, like whenever I meet them, I see them, there's this, I get this impression that they judge people and talk to people based on whether or not like they're a successful actor. That's the vibe I got. Now I'm not saying that that's the way they think, because they've always been nice to me, but I don't know, like I look at how people treat me. I treat everyone with respect. I remember I saw them in person after many months, and it was funny because like everyone else is quick to be like, hey, how's it going, nice to meet you, or hey, how's it going, been a while. felt like they were avoiding me, and then we finally were in each other's faces, and it felt like, okay, we're going to talk. And they were lovely. But I was like, do you not think I'm good enough or something to be here? Now, again, it's probably just all in my head, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes you do get vibes from people. Do you know what I mean? Like, most people I work with that I've ever done acting with, there's, like, none of that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I met this guy recently called Brandon Power, who's a really funny guy, so easy to work with. And it turns out he's like, he doesn't give off any egotistical vibes, and he's killing it. He's doing really, really well. Same with this other girl I mentioned who's doing Hollyoaks. Maybe it's just because they're young and they're just they see things for what they are. They don't see, but the ego thing I think is always stupid, because it's like we're all in the same industry. We're all trying to do the same thing. It's just embarrassing when people act that way, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just I get that it can be like a defense mechanism for some people. It's a way of protecting themselves. Like with our industry, we get a lot of rejection, but but also it doesn't serve any purpose. It just makes you harder to work with. So if anything, it's hurting themselves.
Well, the thing is, especially with, like, as you mentioned earlier in the show, like, you know, everyone knows everyone. Like, eventually you're going to see this person, probably end up working with them again. It's just awkward. Like, just pull it back, man. Stop acting like a... Well, who is this for? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've seen a lot of people over the years where they've... I remember I met one person and we were extras on a fucking Bollywood film, right? So we're nobodies.
Cool,
yeah, cool. I've done 5 Bollywood films.
Damn, fair play, man.
4 extras and 1 feature, so there you go.
Oh, sick.
Fucking claim to fame. It was very tough experiences, not gonna lie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy shit. I could tell some stories. Anyway, there was a girl that I met on one of those sets who I looked her up. Apparently she's like, does some sort of shitty Z-tier television show. Something similar to QVC, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she really had like an ego problem, and I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, no one watches your show. Like, no one at all. No one fucking watched QVC back in the day, and I can't even believe shows like that exist to this day in the year of our Lord 2026. Just, you know what I mean? Like, it's no one watches TV anymore anyway. Like, everyone streams, but when you see stuff like that, you're like, come on, man, pull it together. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, who is buying a vacuum cleaner at 2 a.m. enough to pay for that person to be presented for 6 hours straight?
It's all TikTok shop now, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on TikTok.
Oh, tell me about TikTok.
So I only use TikTok for the band, and yeah, no, not a fan of it.
Why are you not a fan of it?
I don't know, maybe I'm a snob, but I quite like my entertainment form to be longer than 10 seconds.
I saw a video earlier. It was a Skyrim video. It was like 1 minute and 20 seconds, and the poster apologized for the video being too long, saying, oh, yeah, normally they're like only less than 30 seconds. I'm like, too long? What do you mean too long? Don't apologize. These people need to work on themselves.
But they need to get the attention span to be a little bit longer than the 10 to 30 second mark, because, God forbid, all our songs in the band are over 5 minutes. They will get bored of them so quickly.
Shout out to my my friend, my probably sister in another life, Vilma, that I butt heads with all the time. We were talking about, because she's the type of friend you want, someone who won't be a yes man and will annoy the fuck out of you but get you thinking, and her heart's in the right place. We love you, Vilma. So we were talking about video lengths the other day in a live stream, and I said, well, I'm not going to change my podcast to adapt to other people's needs. And she was like, well, you know, maybe you'd get more streams, listens, or whatever for the podcast. And I'm like, that may be, but it's a fucking podcast. If you can't sit for an hour or do what most people do, have it on in the background while you're doing something. Because like, I don't expect does anyone really sit and like watch or listen to a podcast like with nothing else. No, like you're on the way to work. You're drawing or something. I know a lot of people that like have listened to my show. They've had it on in the background while they do something. That's exactly what I do. That's normal, right? But like a podcast is generally averages from like 45 minutes up to 2 hours, right? My shows tend to average between 45 minutes to about an hour and a half, depending on the show, the person, the conversation. I generally look at it like there'll be like a natural conclusion point. Like I'll feel like, yeah, this has been enough, or it just feels like it could end here, or I don't know. Like you just kind of get a feeling for these things.
Yeah, it's like a natural flow to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You just know when it's time. It's like when you go out with friends and there's it's time to go home. Like it's that
the moment that first person dips, you're like, there's going to be a cascade of people.
Well, it's interesting though, because that person, the first person, you're like, oh, are they missing out? And then a few more people, and you're like, you start wondering, and then like before you know it, 70% of the people have gone, and now it's like, right, in Manchester it would be like this. Whenever I'm with my friend Josh, it's always the fucking same thing. It'll be like 1 a.m, and we've just closed down somewhere, and he's like, another beer somewhere, and I just know it's going to end up 4 a.m. in the gay village. It's always the same shit every fucking time, and I regret it every single time. I love hanging out with him, but I hate that I'm old now, and it should have gone home at 1.
It's like an art form in that you can't be the first one to dip out because
loser.
You've killed the night. Yeah, precisely. Or the second one, you've got to get it around the 50% to 70% mark, as you said, but not be the one that kills the night at the same time. You can't be missing out either. There's a strange art form to it in that you're dipping out with everybody else, but you've not killed the night.
I love when you are the one that kills the night, because it's like people will be like, oh, come on, and you're like, there's 3 of us. It's 4, 5 a.m. What do you mean? I'm happy to kill the night. It should have died earlier. What do you mean?
Sometimes it's a mercy killing, yeah. If you stood outside Junam's at 4 a.m, it's about time the night should end.
So you lead a bit of a double life. You're doing acting and music. This is something I can relate to too. People have asked me over the years, like, why not focus on one thing? And my response is always, they are completely different disciplines. They feel different, they look different, they have similarities, but they are very, very different. Now, before we sort of deep dive into your music, I just want to know your, I suppose, motivations and feelings about doing these 2 very different careers.
Okay, so with my acting, I think it came from... I was always quite shy as like a kid and a teenager all the way up through university, and I think pushing myself to do acting was a little bit of a get myself out of my comfort zone thing. And I knew I liked it, but then I ended up loving it. I like being on set, I like being with people. I like the whole, we're creating something together, there's a product at the end that we're all happy with. Mm-hmm. And every job is different, and I think I need something like that. I can't have the same job day in, day out for too long. A couple of months for a project, absolutely fine. It's like it's like a nice, neat little package almost. Every job is this thing, you meet people, you do the job, it's done. You might see them again for another job, and that's a lovely sign. I like meeting people generally, so I think that factors into both the acting and the music. And I think the approach is different. It's weird to say that acting should be this almost slightly unpolished thing, because you don't want to go onto set and be stilted in your delivery, like you've over-rehearsed kind of thing. Whereas music, I guess, is almost the exact opposite. You want it to be so deeply ingrained that if the click track cuts out, you still know exactly where you are, what's going on. I don't know guns on the stage. I do that quite a lot.
It's more like a brotherhood situation, because you're in a metal band, the bassist for 40,000 Leagues.
Yes.
And I don't know, like it requires different things from you, doesn't it? It's different energy. Talk to me about that, like what it's like kind of being in a project like that.
So metal is something I've always loved. It was never something I thought I'd want to do necessarily. I was in like a pop punk band in high school, and then an indie sort of jazz band after that.
Indie jazz?
Yeah, it was weird and pretentious. It was uni days. And then, some friends from college were putting together a metal band, and they used to be in a metal band. And I think I sort of like asked them a few times, like, hey, if you need a guitarist, let me know. And then they were like, well, we're in need of a bassist. And I was like, no problem, I'll just learn bass. It's fine. What could go wrong? Turns out, learning bass it's close enough to a guitar that I could pass it off on the early days, no problem. And then it was like, right, I should probably actually treat it as a separate instrument and learn this properly. And then I think that's when I started to enjoy bass a lot more. But yeah, it is like a brotherhood of the five of us. I say the five of us, there's also our management now, and there's Tom, who's our merch guy, who's like the unofficial sixth member of the band. He's there at almost every show, he just appears out of nowhere. He's like this merch guru, and then just runs away into the night. He's a lovely, lovely man. He will be at our show in some other capacity that I can't tell you about, because I just realised I'm not meant to say. But yeah.
What's... Go on. No, you go.
I was going to say, I'm sure you can relate to this, that being in a band, being in the music scene has its ups and downs, in that you'll have a gig where you're on top of the world, you play into X number of people and it's great, and then you'll have the exact opposite where you play into one person in Middlesbrough and you're like, why am I doing this again?
I suppose you just have to like take it for what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like when I was regularly getting gigs and I was in a band, at the time, it really was frustrating. But now I'm like, man, I'd give anything to have gigs. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Because like I consider myself a much better musician now, but I never get taken seriously for that. So I'm like, well, I don't know, fuck it. Like I've not performed at all this year. I guess I'm just like a bit brokenhearted about it. I'm releasing music and stuff still, but still writing. But yeah, I think if I was going to continue in music, I'd need a band really. But yeah, I don't know. Finding reliable people is like trying to find the Holy Grail. It's just, you know what I mean. Guitarists,
there's a load of those. It's drummers. Drummers are the Holy Grail of bands. Like every drummer will be in 6 other bands.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with that. There's a lot of people that I know that are in multiple bands, and I'm like, how can you really dedicate yourself in the way that's necessary? I don't think you really can,
If as long as the bands are fine, as long as the 2 or more bands are fine with sharing a member, I think there's no necessary problem with it. It's when that you get booked onto shows on the same day, you've got to find a depth for this, that and the other, it can become a problem.
I mean, I think the bigger issue is more the level of commitment as far as, let's say just for argument's sake, you joined another band, right?
Mm.
Now, 40,000 Leagues gigs fairly regularly, from what I've seen. If you were doing the same thing with another band, there is kind of a conflict of interest as far as like, they know that you're not fully committed. You know you're not fully committed. And sooner or later, there's going to be a point where you have to kind of decide which one gets more of your attention.
Yeah, I think there's definitely if both of them start gaining traction, there's definitely a breaking point, isn't there?
I think it's so.
Like, which one? Yeah. Do you step away from one? Do you find a second drummer to share your time in one with? Yeah. I wouldn't know how to approach this, and that's partly why I've never joined another band, because I just haven't got the time. I would love to, but I genuinely no time. Sorry, I paused over my drink weirdly there.
Well, that's the thing as well. Like, I look at it, people have asked me like how I juggle things, and the answer to that is you have to put your focus into certain things that demand it. So sometimes, like I'm always able to release the podcast. That's once a week. It's not tough. But when it comes to like acting, music, etc., like last year I released my debut album, so music really was like the focus that year. So acting took a side seat, and I wasn't really pushing it. I was still doing voice acting, but acting was just kind of not really going anywhere. But I think as long as you have a few projects in a year, like I always consider that as like that's something, like this year it'll be like I just need to get one on-screen project and I'll be happy with that. Like it's not much, but like for me it's I don't know, it's something. But anyway, that name 40,000 Leagues, for some reason I thought about 36 Crazy Fists. That was the first thing I thought.
Oh, okay, yes.
Where does this name come from? What is this name? Is it a Warhammer throwback or something? Like, what the fuck's going on?
So, we struggled with names when we were putting the band together. We went through all options of like single word names similar to Trivium, stuff like that. Trivium's a big influence for us. And nothing gelled. And we were like, right, let's look at some classic influences. Let's look at some classic books, Greek mythology, this, that, and the other. See if we can find a word, a brand, a name, anything that would sound good. And I think someone suggested 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And our drummer was like, yeah, we could have like a mascot who's a scuba diving. He meant to say lobster, but he came out with hamster. And for some reason, this broke everybody on the day. No one at that moment in time clocked that the book is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and not 40,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And we're like, yeah, let's just go with 40,000 Leagues. It's like a classic reference. Not realising that we'd fucked it up.
Brilliant.
Obviously got a logo designed, and then at some point within the next year, I think someone pointed out that it's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We're like, it's too late now.
It's double. What more could you want? It's double
so
the
deep.
leagues.
I think it goes past the centre of the earth. I don't know where it goes to at that point.
It's double the pleasure. Double the musical experience.
We also didn't realise that, because we have a little chant at our shows where the crowd shouts 40k. I think Joe's brother might have started this. So big shout out to Ben if you did start it. I'm going to say you did. We didn't realise that 40k is obviously a Warhammer thing.
Yeah.
So we'd get some comments from like Warhammer people like commenting heresy, and we're like, oh my god, they just don't like our music.
Heresy.
Not realising, yeah, I think it's a thing from Warhammer, the space things. It's I don't really know.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare we not know this? So yeah, and so there was sadly no. Our guitarist Harry is into Warhammer, but it's not where our name came from either. Also, the Warhammer people, we are friends with what used to be a band called Vilka. They've sadly split up, but their prior name was Vilka Fenrica, which is a thing from Warhammer. And I believe that Warhammer got in touch and said you can't use that name, so they had to change their name.
Wow.
So yeah, if the Warhammer people are watching, we have no association with your name in how our name came about.
Okay, let's have some fun.
Okay, sir.
Because this has just not been fun at all. Fuck the.
No, this has been
boring.
Serious. Oh, sorry,
best and worst show you've ever played. Go.
Ooh. So.
Let's start with a good one.
Start with a good one.
Actually, no. Switch. Let's start with the bad.
Worst show.
End on good.
This show had some lovely moments that were not the show itself. We got booked to play Rill. We ended up playing so it was us, this other band called King Beef or something like that, and then this touring Italian band. And basically we ended up playing to King Beef because the touring Italian band didn't come and see us.
Oh, wankers.
Yeah. There was no amps, there was no cabs, there was no nothing. We weren't told this, so we had to sort of dip back, get some gear, talk to King Beef very nicely about borrowing gear. And they were lovely. They were like sort of that lovely dad rock kind of band.
Yeah.
They're just doing it because they're having a laugh. And they were, you know what, playing to them was amazing, but that's the only people we played to. And likewise, we were the only people they played to.
Yeah.
And it was in like this labyrinth-like pub in the middle of Rill. No one was in the pub. Real, like sort of deepest, darkest Wales.
Oh, I was gonna say it sounded like something out of fucking Middle Earth. what's that place
It's
that like
like-
Brill or saying in Lord of the Rings?
It's like
I don't know.
sort of if you twinned a Welsh town with Blackpool. To give you the vibe.
Yikes. Okay.
But yeah, they were lovely. We played to them, they played to us. The Italian band finally came in, and both us and this other band like, fuck you guys, we're going home. So they played to a room of nobody.
Did they see you leaving?
Oh yeah, we saw them eating food outside just before our set because they didn't want to come in.
So, when they saw you leaving, what was their reaction?
I think one of them had a look of, oh, sort of like it hit him as like, oh yeah, we should probably watch our support bands kind of thing. Don't remember the name of that band, but we played last year. Actually, we played with another couple of touring Italian bands. Completely the opposite. They were some of the nicest people I've ever met. The Stranger Visions and Aether Void. If anyone's into metal and like power metal, they're incredible. They had the singer of Blind Guardian on one of their tracks. They had the singer of Dream Theater on one of the other tracks.
Wow.
They were just, honestly, they were like one of the tightest bands I've ever seen on like the circuit that we are, and thoroughly would recommend them. They're lovely, lovely people as well. But that's Real is probably one of our worst gigs. That was very, very early days back in the band.
Best gig you've ever played?
Basket. So I'm gonna go with one we did last year. So we supported Blaze Bailey from Ex-Iron Maiden, and I was bricking it all the way through, or like leading up to it. It was like, this is Blaze Bailey. Jan's our new drummer. We've only done one show with him prior to this. Our drummer Paul sort of dipped out because he's had a second child, so we'll get someone in while Paul's away. And we were all nervous, like, oh, is it going to go well? We don't want to mess up in front of Blaze Bailey. It was just one of those shows where everything went right. The crowd loved it. We loved it. Blaze Bailey is a very interesting man to talk to.
What makes him interesting exactly? You say that like he's a bit of a character.
Well, he was on vocal rest when I tried to talk to him, so he spoke to me in what I can only describe as a sign language he'd made up.
Interesting.
It was a lot of like nods and devil horn gestures, which I took was, this is a good sign. So,
I mean, there is the story about how when he joined Maiden, he fucked his vocal cords from trying to sing like Bruce Dickinson.
Bruce, yeah.
And he could do it. You can hear him on the live recordings doing it, but he was operating outside of his vocal range, so it really messed up his vocal cords. So maybe that's why he does it. Maybe that's like doctor's orders. I don't know.
Be fair, like this was the last day on his tour, and like I think he'd been at it solid for like 10 days straight. So completely understand the vocal rest. But no, he seemed like a lovely dude, and the rest of his band we know through Absolver, who are such nice guys as well. But yeah, it was a genuine privilege to get to play with them. So
nice one. Let's look at what are the goals for the band. Where are you aiming to go future wise?
So we've got the Academy show coming up in April, which is our first headline show at Manchester Academy, which incredibly excited for, and also shitting it about. So, but yeah, I think from there we want to try and take it as well. We have some surprises coming up. We've got our new single dropping on the 27th of March, Reawakening, which I was left in charge of making the music video for, which features Dan McGee, who we've talked about.
Hey. Nice.
So I'm excited for everyone to see that. We have some other surprises and possible releases coming up that I can't say because we've not announced them yet. I'm just going to look over there. But yeah, this year I think we want to try and hit the festival circuits as much as we can, and then basically we want to try and get the gigs as far and wide as possible. If there's any touring bands who'd be interested in having us on with them, that kind of thing, that's where we want to take it. Because Manchester is obviously an amazing place to play, but I think we've seen perhaps as much as we can currently do in Manchester.
Do you I mean, I presume you might have done this, but like, often what I see with like local bands or bands that are in this kind of circuit, when there's a bigger band coming over, they're already aware and they reach out, kind of thing. Have you like reached out directly to, I don't know, like fucking Fozzy comes here a lot, for example. Have you ever like reached out to them and been like, hey, we're based in the area, we play regularly, if you ever need someone for the European leg, give us a shout? Like, have you guys tried doing that?
That's actually written into my diary to do the week after our gig. So I've
Well,
got some in mind.
Like bands that you know are, they announce a tour, like, and you see the date for Manchester, you're like, hey, da-da-da-da-da, what about us?
Yeah, there are a couple we've gone, you know what, we'll drop them a message. Maybe nothing will come of it, but yes, that is the plan. That is where we want to take it, to be fair.
Because it's standard protocol, isn't it? You come and do a live show in Manchester or Liverpool or somewhere like that. The first band you see, generally speaking, unless they've got specific support acts that they're playing with. Like, for instance, when I saw Soil a couple of years ago, the bands they had with them were bands they've been playing with for years, similar era, so you're like, oh, okay. But when it's just like a general band and there's no specific tour requirements, like, first band's local band.
Yeah, I think touring bands are generally getting better with that, to be fair. You've seen a lot, like Skindred last year, they did I think they did 2 tours. They did one was almost like their stadium tour, and one which was smaller shows. And for every single smaller show, they had an opening band who was local, like Ward 16, who's a band we sort of know through people, was one of the opening acts for them, and it looked absolutely incredible. I think the higher ups in the music scene are starting to realise that, we probably need to look after some of these smaller bands and give them the chances here and there.
Yeah, I mean, and the flip always happens inevitably as well, where you end up being the bigger band in the future, and the older band ends up supporting you. The best example I can give that I remember is there was a band years ago, I think they've returned, called I Killed the Prom Queen, and I saw them at a gig, and it was their final gig ever before the first retirement, in like 2007. And lo and behold, or 2006 I think it was, and their support was Bring Me the Horizon, amongst other bands. Yeah, I was in the London scene seeing them as they were coming up, and it was crazy fucking shit. I was at the infamous Camden Barfly show where everyone got pepper sprayed, and yeah, so if you go on their Wikipedia and you see that, I was at that show. Anyway, that I think they had Architects there that night as well, and obviously Architects and Bring Me the Horizon became huge, especially Bring Me the Horizon over the next decade, two decades, and then in more recent years you see like I Killed the Prom Queen as like a support guest to some of these bands moving forward, and like you remember stuff like that. You remember who gave you a chance. You remember these things, Metallica famously had like Diamond Head on their Big Four shows because they were like, well, this band inspired us, we're going to put them there. And I think it's just a nice nod. It's a very classy move, and also I think if you're being serious about the future, like, you won't be big forever, but these bands coming through are the next bands. I can't speak much to the modern metal scene, but I will say that from what I see, it's going very strong, and there's plenty of great bands. There's a lot of throwback bands, a lot of artists are kind of doing that throwback sounds but putting a modern take on it, and it's interesting to see that.
Stuff like Ghost, Tail Gunner at the moment are very sort of 80s and 70s sounds and doing very well with it. The Manchester scene though, like pretty much every band we've played with in Manchester is genuinely some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet. There's the competition they do for Bloodstock every year, Metal to the Masses, and that helped us out so much. It put us in front of new audiences, new bands, new connections. For any metal band in any city, I would thoroughly recommend it, because it's a great couple of gigs. Yeah.
I think what blows my mind about that as well is that if you see the bands from top to bottom, they're all fucking amazing. And I'm always like just dumbfounded that because I know that obviously the winner gets to go to Bloodstock and everything, but like, you know, when I look at bands like, you know, Zenith or Leader or bands like that, and I'm like, they've been doing this so long and they're so good and they just deserve the world, and you're like, what's going on? And I don't know, it. In a way, it's a popularity contest, but everyone's nice. No one's shitty about it. But it's just a bit like, it just kind of sucks. Like, you really want to see these bands do better.
Yeah, it's that thing that if everyone could win, that would be the ideal.
Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to say like, oh, everyone does it.
No,
you know, like, I just mean that like, when you see these bands year after year, and you're just like, you just should be so, like I see Zenith and I'm like, that they should be on festival.
They're brilliant.
They are so good.
I've only seen them once or twice, but they're so good. Same with Leader. Like,
Leader's really good. Yeah, lots of energy there.
Dude as well. It's there's with any competition, whether it's music or the arts, it's because it's based on personal taste. It's never quite going to make it for anyone. But I'd say Metal to Masses is that. Yeah, whoever wins it, they're going to Bloodstock. This is an incredible thing. Even just getting to the final, getting to the semi-finals, you're still going to pick up a load of new fans. You never know who's watching. I think we've been in the finals twice. We've never won it, sadly.
Do you reckon third time lucky?
No, we've said we won't do the competitions again.
Why not? Gig's a gig, man.
Gig is a gig. Yeah, I think sometimes it hits some of us a bit hard, and also like. We're at that level where we just want to sort of do other shows. Obviously, if Metal to Masses wanted as guests, I would absolutely love to do that. But yeah, because James and Jane, who run it, are really good friends of mine. They run the Manchester one. They're some of the best promoters in the UK. Like, for any bands out there, reach out to the 0161 Manchester Underground Metal community. They're some of the best in the business. I lost my train of thought.
I reckon one more time. I reckon you should give it another chance. Time? One more time.
I'll have a chat with management. We have management, so I don't think you're allowed to do it with management.
I mean, look, if you've got management for a band, they're always going to look at the same things. Like, how does this help the band? You know, what are the expenses involved? Is it advantageous to both sides? At the end of the day, it puts you in front of people.
True.
It's your third time. I think there's a high probability you would win it.
Technically, it's our fourth time. We did do it in the COVID year, but obviously
that's
we got
not the
through our
same.
heat, and then COVID hit.
So it just ended early, I guess.
They basically took all the bands who were either through or yet to compete, and were like, "Hey, send us your EPKs. We're going to send off 5 of them to Bloodstock, and they'll pick the winner," kind of thing.
That's not the same. It doesn't count.
It's not quite the same.
It don't count.
Yeah,
don't count. It's not.
Also, we had a few things going on. That, like, our drummer was quite poorly at the time, so we ended up not sending our EPK. He's all fine now, but it was a case of even if we had been picked, we probably couldn't have played.
Well, we're talking about the now. I think for this year, obviously you mentioned there's a single coming out. Maybe there's another Metal to the Masses in you. We'll see.
Metal to the Masses already started this year, so possibly not this year. But I was going to say, I won't say never. I'd say it's unlikely. But we have some other shows later this year that I can't announce until after our headline show.
That's just teasing, man.
I know. But they will be good fun. They are with a band I do like quite a lot. So I'll
famous band, big band,
bigger than us.
Cool, man. All right, so
that's a wide scope of bands that are bigger than us.
No, it's cool, man. I mean, you always want to. They always say that you want to be in a room with people that know more than you, that you can learn from, etc. And it's always going to help a band. Being around bands like that. Right, a couple of final questions for you to round things out for today. What has music taught you about life?
I'm going to fill the silence with ums and ahs for a second while I process this question. I think for like music, I get this is going to go weird, and for me at least, music sort of teaches you to go out and enjoy life in that moment, because that band that you like, they're not going to be around forever. This could be the last time you see them. This could be the last time you hear that song live, and it's full of their emotions, their feelings towards things. It's about connecting with people. I think is probably the most ephemeral way I could say that. But yeah, no, it's about connecting with people. It's about enjoying, experiencing things to their fullest, living in the moment, and not waiting for that thing to happen. Because yeah, by all means, put some energy into waiting for that next show, booking that next thing, try and do that thing, but also enjoy life, live in that moment and enjoy it. And I think music is a great teacher of that.
What has acting taught you about life?
To deal with rejection. No, on a serious note, I guess it has. Like, I think for every 100 jobs you apply for, you get rejected for 98 of them, and you only hear back from 10 of them anyway. So it's also taught me, should I say, that it's just keep doing what you're doing, and the opportunity will be there. And if you're ready for it, take it with both hands, kind of thing.
What's the worst advice you've ever received?
There's so many. They've all gone through my head.
Top 5.
Top 5 worst advice. I was sat on the train on the way back from Huddersfield once, and I think I was very hungover, and this man sat down next to me, and he was, like the nutter on the bus kind of thing.
Yep.
This was like the train cousin of that person. And he sort of locked me into a conversation because he trapped me in my seat. And he was telling me about his philosophies of life. And he was like, you should read a chapter of the dictionary every day. And I was like, okay, why is that? Because like, all words are in there. And if all the words are in there, then all advice is in there too. And I didn't want to go, this is nonsense, because I was trapped in this conversation. But yeah, and I guess in some way he's right.
No.
All words are in there, and if you jumble them around, you'll find advice. But also,
but it's without
absolutely fucking not.
Without context, it's bollocks. Because there's words in there. I mean, the most you can get is you'll learn new words, and you can increase your vocabulary, and that's useful.
It's not a bad skill to have, but also the advice is not in there. It's not like laid out.
No.
If you take one word from here and there and put them together, you'll get your advice. I've not thought about him for ages, but yeah, he's somewhere on a train between Manchester and Huddersfield. That man exists, or he's like a spirit of Huddersfield.
Yikes. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Good question. I can't remember. I think my agent has said this to me at some point, but I think a lot of other people have just said this of like, just be yourself. Stop putting on a face and a character for other people to try and appease them. Just be yourself, and people will like that and appreciate that. And I realise that's counterintuitive to acting, because that's exactly what we do. We put on a character and a face for other people. But yeah, just be yourself. Take the opportunities. Take the risks. Be who you want to be at the end of the day.
What's the biggest life lesson you've learned so far?
Ooh. This is a random story, but I'm going to tell it to you because I don't know why this factors in. This probably isn't even a life lesson. But when I worked in that art gallery, he wasn't a fan of Buddhist quotes. So he asked me as I was leaving, or on one of the last weeks, could I put some inspirational quotes for him around the place. So I just filled it with Buddhist quotes and took off the bottom that it was Buddha. And I think they were there up until the point of closure in that library. So I can't remember a single one of those Buddhist quotes, but I remember thinking, these are nice and wholesome. How could anyone not like this? That did not answer the question at all, I realise.
It was a nice story.
It was yeah.
It was sweet.
What is the best life? I don't know. I guess it's not life advice, but I looked. So my granddad was just. I think I've always just wanted to be like my granddad. My granddad B, who was like, he was my mum's sort of like stepdad kind of thing, but he's been in my life all my life because yeah, he was there from like the 70s kind of thing. I don't know. He was just that person who went out of his way to do everything for everyone. And never complained. Like, he worked in construction and he was the union rep, so he got blacklisted from jobs left, right and centre for sticking up for the little guy. He's very like Uncle Ben in Spider-Man, or at least that's how I remember him. So I think that's just, I just want to be like that. Just be like him.
Final question, do you have any upcoming projects or final thoughts that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yes, if anyone is a fan of metal music would like to come and see 40,000 Leagues, we are playing at Manchester Academy on Saturday the 4th of April. Please do come down.
I feel like I have that earmarked in my calendar, but that's right, it clashes with something else I'm doing.
Oh, no.
I wanted to come, yeah.
Can you swing by later, or is it a no-go, sir?
It literally clashes at the same time. Because I booked it like 8 months ago or something.
I will get you down to another show.
I'd like to. There was one I saw coming at... Is that the one at Rebellion?
We played Rebellion last year. We've got nothing booked in for Rebellion so far this year.
I'd like to come to a gig. I'd like to see. That'd be cool.
I appreciate it, man. And likewise, I need to come down to one of your shows as well when you get stuff booked in this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, bro. Yeah, anyway. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, mate. It's been good fun, and yeah, it's been good to finally actually meet you as well. So yes. Yeah, thank you.
To all the listeners of the Christian Reeve Podcast, make sure you go out of your way to listen to 40,000 Leagues and to check out Rick's acting work. I'll make sure there's links in the bio to do that. Thank you so much for being on the show, Rick, and to all the listeners, as always, thank you for listening. Be safe, be well, and I'll see you in the next one.